Good afternoon and welcome to this very important session with these foremost women leaders from Ukraine. I think we all were very much touched by the speech and interventions from your president. He really said to us at the end that we should wake up every morning thinking about how we can support Ukraine. He also earlier in his speech mentioned that he was waking up every morning to be informed about how many people had died in their fight for Ukraine. Just think about the realities we are faced with. Russia has broken international law. They have broken international humanitarian law, and they're broken the UN Charter in their attack on Ukraine. So, Madam Yulia Syrodenko, Deputy Prime Minister and Minister of Economy of Ukraine, when we wake up in the morning and reflect on how we can support your country in its fight for its territorial integrity and freedom, what more can we do?
Okay, it's a nice question, good question. First of all, I think I would start with words of thanks to all democracy country, for those one who support Ukraine, who actually put Ukrainian lives above oil and gas from Russia, who puts Ukrainian lives above, some benefits that can achieve from Russia. That's why we are really grateful for that support. And actually, for the first days of wars, it seems for us gloomy. We predict it's very gloomy, but no, because of resilience of Ukrainian business and because of the assistance from our partner side. All essential systems are operating. Banking system, IT sector, retail chains, railways, post service, they all are operational right now. So now, actually, at the first week of the Russian invasion, it seems for us that growing season is going to be under the collapse. But now our Ukrainian farmers, they, use all land just for providing us with the food and providing world with the food. So now what we need from your side, we need your assistance in unblocked the Black Sea ports. So it's essential things for us as we need to export, as we are, export-oriented country. It's for us as essential to have this opportunity to export. That's why we need to unite your efforts, United States, EU efforts, all efforts to arrange this export operation. Of course, it's related to the defense issue, but anyway, we need to move further. Of course, we are under our infrastructure under attack every day, but we are not giving up, and we are continuing to fight. And that's why I think that economic front as essential as a military front, and that's why doing actually some measures that you providing us with help us to fight with Russian invaders on economic front. It's not less than the military one. So that's why we, as I told you, we're not giving up. We have Ukrainian rather brave people, and our business show resilience. And I think if you can increase your support, of course, on public finance, you've heard our president, at least 5 billion per month. And of course, we need this money now, but we are fighting for our future. So that's why it's the second items after the reblocking port that we are struggling right now. And the third one, of course, it's frozen assets of Russians. So Russian oligarchs, they can be confiscated in proper way and be directed to the fund that might cover all these damages caused by invaders. That's why I think that these three items we can focus on, and we would be grateful if you can increase your sanction policy and can focus on the three items that can solve us and help us to fight on economic front.
No, thank you so much, and I'm glad to be able to inform you that on Wednesday, there will be a meeting, and I think you're already invited, Deputy Prime Minister, where 70 CEOs now have signed up for CEOs for Ukraine, also showing that the private sector is really walking the talk. I think that's a good segue to you, Yevgenia Kravchuk, member of Parliament. And when we prepared this session, you told me that you are, on behalf of the parliamentarians, you have coined your group as Women Diplomatic Battalion.
Yes, that's right.
And I guess you also listened to what Deputy Prime Minister said about rebuilding and reconstructing Ukraine, and how can we support both humanitarian way, but also to create a future for the young people of Ukraine.
Thank you so much. First of all, I wanted to tell you that the war is still there. I brought you a piece of striking element of Iskander missile that hit Kyiv region in March. It was collected by my husband, who is police officer in Kyiv region. And he told me, bring this and show this to political leaders, to organizations, and tell that we are still suffering and we need to win in this war to stop this suffer of Ukraine and give the future to our kids, to my 8-year-old kid who has to go to basement when we have an air siren. Speaking about the humanitarian needs and humanitarian crisis, I will say that we have different stages of humanitarian crisis in Ukraine, and the closer you go to Russia, the worse is situation. So this is the key, the presence of Russia on our territory. We have around 12 million people that had to change their location. 5 million people had left the country, but they want to come back. 7 million people are IDPs, internally displaced people. Of course, they need a place to live, social services. They need to go to the hospital, to find a new school, at least online. And thank you for the support, of course, for our people outside of the country and also helping humanitarianly inside of the country. And we see that we sort of switched from what we needed from the very beginning, like food and medicine. Now we need, of course, we need financial aid. Also, we need petroleum and diesel because there's a shortage of gasoline in Ukraine, and it both are very important for economy and for just for people to live in the country. But when I'm asked what is the best humanitarian aid for Ukraine, I answer weapons. More weapons, because you can send us for years tourniquets, food, medicine, but if you send us enough of weapons, if you put sanctions strong enough to Putin to stop this war, not to go further, not to have money, because when you pay for gas and oil from Russia, it returns as the striking element or a bullet to innocent child. Today, 11-year-old girl died in the hospital. She was from Luhansk region, and she became 233rd victim of this war, a child that died because of this war. And then you have these occupied territories, and the situation there, it's not a humanitarian crisis, it's humanitarian help, because Russians will not let the food and medicine inside of these territories, and they're not letting people out. In Kherson region, in the south, people stay for 5 days in the cars, in the field, and Russians will not let them go out. So please help us. Please give us more weapons, more financial aid to be sustainable in this situation, and we need to win this war, because this is the only way to end these atrocities, to end the suffering of people, to end this humanitarian crisis.
Thank you. Just reflecting on the fact that breaking basic international law, even hitting schools where children are being taught, that I think is, we haven't seen this in many, many years. It is such a telling story. there's still a strong private sector in Ukraine, and we heard that President Zelensky also said in his speech that for those that are in solidarity with Ukraine, you will remember, and they will also do well when it comes to business in Ukraine. This 43 million people, and it's still a powerful nation. We have with us also Yulia Kiryanova, CEO of Smart Holding, impactful company in Ukraine. And I was wondering, how can you run your company in the middle of war? How is it with employment? Are people coming to work? How can you run your business?
Yes, we are, as the whole business society in Ukraine does. But maybe we start from the small introduction. We are the strategic investor in Ukraine, operating in more than 8 industries, with quite a diversified portfolio. But first of all, I would like to reflect on Mr. President said in business terms. Actually, I'm in business for 20 years. All these years, I work 24/7. And I see how business community does the same. We survived the crisis of 2008, the beginning of war 2014, pandemic crisis. Also, we survived all the elections, you know, and this is a challenge for the business, not just to operate, but to develop further. And we are like Alice in Wonderland. We have to run quicker to stay where we are. And we are not staying where we are. And you can see it by the numbers in the Ukrainian economy. So, and unfortunately, this is not the hard work that brought us to this stage, but the war. And I would say that the war impact is unprecedented. So, looking back at 2014, we didn't experience that much of a pressure on all industries in the country. Our business portfolio has 3 key industries to the economy. 2 of them are export-oriented, steel industry and agriculture, as well as gas production. So let me brief you on what's going on in big numbers for you to understand what is the scale. So in steel industry, in 21, we produced, the whole industry produced 23.5 million tons of steel products and merchant pig iron. Now, and we exported 80% of that. Now it dropped to 8 something and 6 to be exported. This is 1/3. And the reason of that, actually, we have a stake in the largest steel and iron ore producer, Metinvest, and we contribute 70% of exports to the entire export of the country. 2 steel mills went out of operation in Mariupol for the reasons you know. There are some other businesses that are not operating, and this is 53% of the steel industry in general. Iron ore is a different story because here the export channels are not working well, therefore we just do not increase production enough to be able to export everything. On the gas industry, I would talk about agriculture now. In agriculture, the key export products are corn and wheat. We produce 54% less of corn and 35% of wheat. We have a company, Harvest, that is among top 10 agrarians in Ukraine, and we have lost 68% of arable land. So the gas is 22% down. I may continue that. But to wrap it all, I would say that Throughout our portfolio, we see more than 50% down in the production. However, there is a good news. We are alive. And by saying that, I do not mean only that we struggle every day and keep going with all our employees. I am saying that we are looking in the future. And yes, this is when you stop thinking about the future, you are dead, and the enemy wants us dead. So we are alive.
Thank you. Thank you. And it's about the future, and we have one of our global shapers with us too. I just saw a news flash coming in here. A Russian soldier was convicted of murder and sentenced to life in prison in Ukraine's first war crimes trial since the invasion began, sending also a strong message about the atrocities you have seen. And I think we have all been just heartbroken to see what this war has brought and the way also the Ukrainian people are suffering. Let me then go to Liana Avtonomova. You're a young global shaper, impact officer at Kiev Hub. And I know also based on the crisis and the humanitarian sufferings we are seeing, you have started an NGO to deal with mental health, but you're also looking into the future, how to build a future for the young generation in Ukraine. So great to have you here. Liana, floor is yours.
Yeah, thank you so much. So I think that I'm here with one very clear message that we need together not only rebuild the country, but we want to reimagine the country. We want to unite the whole world, our government, business, civil society, and all the international partners, not to just rebuild the country, to build buildings as they were. We want to reimagine. We want to, and I'm part of the Restart Ukraine initiative, which is gathering architects, anthropologists, urban designers, all with foreign education, to build in new cities, new villages, using the latest technologies to build cities and villages not for the 21st century, but for the 22nd century. And for that, we need all the knowledge, all the expertise, dream, ambition, not only from Ukraine, but from across the globe. And we ask to join us on this journey, and we ask you to be bold, to think how we actually can do it, how we actually can use all the latest technologies to build new cities, to build new areas, to reimagine civil society, governance, to think how digital currencies could influence daily lives of people. And for that, we need to join international community and the best knowledge, bring it to Ukraine and do it together with Ukrainians. And to build on that, I want to say that the world, I want to say that the word for the next 10 years or 5 years of our lives, I want to name it as the collaboration of government, civil society, and business. And I want to ask as well our governance to be very open to these new ideas, to be open, to open the doors so that we can make Ukraine, let's say, an urban laboratory. And then also provide solutions for the world. Because we're not only the only country in crisis, and we can be the provider of solutions.
Thank you so much. I know that time has run out for our panel, but I would like to go back to you for a short question and a short answer, Deputy Prime Minister. You know, it is for us, it is such an honor to have had you here, and we can almost not with words really tell how much we admire your courage. But of course, as you also alluded to, Deputy Prime Minister, words is one thing, but you also have to see international solidarity really happening. And what would be your challenge to the powerful business community of the world here now as a short end of this session. Over to you.
That was the challenge. Okay. So actually, you know, I think all our panelists, we are focused and so we understand that we need to rebuild the new country. We need to rethink about the development, of course, from our partners, as I told you. So we need to, I would like to stress once again, we need to enlarge sanction, to provide the secondary sanction. We need right now, we're challenging with a shortage of finance, so we need your support, financial support there. We need to unblock the seaports. From our side, we are starting to think about the recovery plan of Ukraine, and we are absolutely sure, and I think we need your assistance, as we think that, first of all, we need to become and to obtain the full membership of EU. We want to have the full access to G7 or to EU market, and we're happy that United Kingdom and EU and Canada were the first who lifted all duties for Ukrainian goods and give us the opportunity to export more on that market. Of course, we would like to develop new industries, and absolutely agree with my colleagues. So it's going to be, I think it's going to be, we will develop more that industry that already good structured in Ukraine. IT, it's going to be steel industry, it's going to be agricultural industry, and of course it's going to be military. Military is number one items. I think that the question related to safety, to defense, will go through all sectors in the next, I think, 20 or 30 decades. So that's why in all these issues we need your assistance, and in all these issues we need to have a frank dialogue with our European partners, and of course resilience of our business is amazing. But with your support, if you enlarge sanction and you give us more support, we will win the war, I think, soon. That's why we really need your assistance. Thank you.
No, thank you. Thank you so much. I think you were right, Yevgenia, when you said that this is a women diplomatic battalion. I felt very strong messages from these really foremost women leaders of Ukraine. Your country can be proud of you. We are proud of you. And I'm also challenging all the CEOs here to join CEOs for Ukraine meeting on Wednesday afternoon to really walk the talk and so show real solidarity with Ukraine. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Believe in Ukraine as much as we believe in Ukraine.
Thank you.